over the course of the next 30 minutes, we'll update you on everything that's been happening around the world. And let's start with some international news first, where supporters of various Lebanese political parties celebrated as polls closed in the country's first parliamentary election since 2009. Now, Hezbollah's supporters drove the streets of Baalbek in a convoy of cars decked out with the group's flags and photos of Lebanon's Hezbollah leader Syed Hassan Nasrallah. The turnout in Lebanon's parliamentary election was 49.2%, which was down from 54% the last time the legislative elections had been held 9 years ago. The Tunisians voted in their first free municipal elections in another step in a democratic transition that has become marred by disappointments over a lack of jobs and economic opportunities. The Islamist Ennahda and secular Nida Tunis parties, which form a coalition at the national level, are expected to dominate the polls for the 350 municipalities. The videos uploaded to the internet showed what appears to be members of the Syrian civil defense arriving in Jisr al-Shahour in the Idlib province after what is being described as barbaric airstrikes on civilian homes on the White Helmet's Twitter page. Now, the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights reported barrel bombs as well as airstrikes in the western countryside of Idlib province. The War Monitor has further said that airstrikes were in fact targeting a school in the center of the city of Jisr al-Shahour, killing at least about 4 and injuring 6 others, some of whom are said to be in a critical condition. Now, after 7 years of being a site of danger and death, eastern Damascus's Abyssinian Square hosted a concert to commemorate the National Holiday of Martyrs' Day and celebrate the Syrian army's recapture of eastern Ghouta. The hundreds of Syrians gathered in the square only a few hundred meters away from the former rebel stronghold in Jobar as Farah Choir, a famous choir in Syria, sang traditional songs. Saudi Arabia's King Salman has ordered the protection for employees who report financial and administrative corruption as a part of an effort to combat graft that has seen dozens of royals and also top businessmen be detained last year. The decree shields whistleblowers from violation of their privileges or rights. The US President Donald Trump's attorney Rudy Giuliani has sparked yet another controversy with his statements on Donald Trump, Stormy Daniels' saga. Giuliani has said that he would not rule out the possibility that payments were made to women other than porn star Stormy Daniels to get them to be silent about accusations against Donald Trump. Now, this disclosure of additional payments could complicate matters for Donald Trump, who had initially denied any knowledge that money was paid to Stormy Daniels for her to keep silent. The US President Donald Trump has caused anger in France and Britain by suggesting that lax gun laws have actually helped prevent deadly attacks in Paris in 2015 and linking knife crime in London to a handgun ban. The French Finance Minister Bruno Le Maire has said that he's shocked by Trump's comments and hopes that Trump will come back on his words and express regret. The President Donald Trump's nominee to lead the CIA, Gina Haspel, has sought to withdraw over concerns about her role in the agency's interrogation program. The Haspel's offer to withdraw was prompted by growing concern amongst her supporters that White House staff were becoming nervous that the nomination was in trouble. She told the White House that she would step aside to avoid a brutal Senate Intelligence Committee confrontation hearing on Wednesday that might damage the CIA. The Pakistan's Interior Minister Ehsan Iqbal was injured when an assailant opened fire at him at a local political gathering in Narowal. Iqbal was immediately taken to a hospital for treatment and is believed to be out of danger. The suspect was taken into police custody and is being interrogated. The minister, who belongs to Pakistan Muslim League Party, was attending a political gathering in his hometown of Narowal when the attack took place. An explosion at a mosque used as a water centre in the eastern Afghan province of Khost killed at least about 17 people and wounded 34 others. And this comes as the latest attack on preparations for long-delayed parliamentary elections in Afghanistan. It is said that the blast appeared to have been caused by explosives that were left in the mosque rather than by a suicide bomber. In a separate incident in the northern province of Faryab, 7 people were killed when the car that they were travelling in hit a roadside bomb. The rescue teams have confirmed the death of a second Polish coal miner and are searching for 3 more trapped nearly a kilometre underground after a quake. The quake hit the coal mine in southern Poland on Saturday, initially trapping 7 miners at a depth of about 900 metres. It was the mine's strongest quake going back to the year 1989. President Hassan Rouhani said on Sunday that Iran has in fact prepared plans to respond to any decision by US President Donald Trump to end the nuclear agreement with Tehran, and that the United States will regret such a decision. Donald Trump has said that unless European allies rectify flaws in Tehran's nuclear agreement with world powers by May 12, he will refuse to extend the US sanctions relief for Iran. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said that Israel is determined to stop Iran even if it results in a struggle, just 3 days before meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow. Now, Israel has been lobbying with the world powers to fix or nix a 2015 nuclear deal with Iran as a May 12 deadline looms set by President Donald Trump. The Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan has said that Turkey will be carrying out new military operations along its borders after its 2 previous offensives into Syria. Now, Erdogan made the statement as he announced his manifesto for the upcoming snap elections. Turkey is now carrying out an offensive into northern Syria's Afrin region against the Syrian Kurdish YPG militia, which Ankara considers to be a terror organization linked to the Kurdish militants waging an insurgency on Turkish soil. The Israeli soldiers have shot and killed at least about 2 Palestinians who tried to cross into the Israeli border from the Gaza Strip, according to the Israelis. Now, the Palestinian health officials have said that the 2 men were killed by Israeli gunfire near the town of Khan Yunis in the southern Gaza Strip. The area is near the border of Israel, where tensions have in fact escalated in recent weeks. Russians were thrilled to watch military hardware parade through central Moscow in the final rehearsal ahead of the Victory Day celebrations. Troops marching through the Red Square to sounds of military orchestras were followed by Soviet and Russian military vehicles, including several new drones and armoured fighting vehicles. Around 13,000 soldiers took part in the rehearsal of the most revered military event in the country. Malaysia's most powerful political party expelled 2 key figures for throwing their support behind the opposition just days ahead of a closely fought election. Prime Minister Najib Razak's United Malays National Organisation has sacked the pair after they backed veteran ex-Premier Mahathir Mohamed's bid to take power in the 9th of May polls at the head of an opposition alliance. The researchers at Italy's Turin Polytechnic University have found no evidence of the existence of any hidden chambers behind the walls of the ancient Egypt's boy king Tutankhamun's tomb. The experts have been divided over the existence of a concealed chamber behind the tomb, which some believe could actually be the final resting place of the lost queen Nefertiti. The Chinese Premier Li Keqiang arrived in Jakarta for an official visit to Indonesia, the first stop on his first overseas trip since the new cabinet took to office in the month of March. The Li's visit comes as this year marks the 5th anniversary of the establishment of China-Indonesia Comprehensive Strategic Partnership and the 15th anniversary of the strategic partnership between China and the ASEAN. China's foreign ministry spokesperson has said that the United States will not be able to change the fact that there is only one China in the world, and Hong Kong, Macau and Taiwan are essentially integral parts of the Chinese territory. Geng Shuang made the remarks when asked about the US criticism against China's efforts to require foreign enterprises to remove references on their websites or in other materials that suggest that Hong Kong, Macau and Taiwan are countries independent of China. Now, the sniping unit of the Chinese People's Liberation Army garrison in Hong Kong has fostered sniper talents and also enhanced its real combat capabilities by organizing targeted training programs collectively. Now, all snipers competed in a total of about 12 subjects, including target shooting, accurate shooting, shooting at the designated targets, shooting at pitching angle and also medium and long range shooting, all of which are targeted to enhance the snipers' real combat capabilities. The spectacular waterfalls formed by rainstorm-triggered floods appeared in the town of Chongqing municipality. That's southwest China in the Beitou town of Wanzhou district. The raging flood, mixed with dirt rushing down from a cliff, presents a magnificent scene of waterfalls, but the heavy rains that lasted from Friday to Sunday in Wanzhou district have also caused much inconvenience to local traffic, as many roads were completely inundated. The authorities in Fuzhou city of East China's Jiangxi province are trying to boost cultural tourism by popularizing the traditional Chinese operas amongst local people, as the hometown of Tang Xianzu, a famous playwright of China's Ming dynasty. The Fuzhou has a long history of opera performance and profound humanistic connotation. Based on the Tang's drama Peony Pavilion, a large-scale live-action performance is in fact being staged in Fuzhou these days. The Singapore's Personal Data Protection Commission are in contact with Facebook and are looking into the matter that data of 65,000 Facebook users in Singapore might have been improperly shared with Cambridge Analytica. The Cambridge Analytica, the political consultancy at the center of the Facebook data sharing scandal, is shutting down. Now, amongst the 87 million people's data that was inappropriately shared, 3.6 million are believed to be users in Asia, including the Philippines, Indonesia, Singapore, and to a very small extent even in India. Now, in the results of a poll conducted by Reuters news agency, it has been revealed that most of Facebook's US users have remained loyal to the social network despite revelations that a political consultancy had collected information about millions of accounts without the owner's express permission. Now, the poll also adds to other indications that Facebook has so far suffered no ill effects from the episode other than a public relations headache. As the much-awaited British royal wedding approaches, American actor Meghan Markle will be getting intensive training on royal protocol. The Markle will have to learn her royal lines and also roll when she marries Prince Harry and joins the ranks of the British monarchy this month. The unwritten rules govern as to how the royals should in fact behave and also act in the public. And while many antiquated protocols have in fact fallen by the wayside, there is still some etiquette that Markle will have to is expected to follow after her wedding to the Queen's grandson on the 19th of May. Now, over 100 cows fought in the Swiss city of Aprons in Valais canton to be crowned the National Queen of 2018. 10,000 people were expected to watch the annual Battle of the Queens, a traditional Swiss cow fighting competition. Every spring on their way to the mountain pastures, the Heron's cows fight in order to choose a new leader of the herd for the summer. And this tradition has led to the Heron's cow fighting contest being organized every year by the Swiss Breeding Federation. The supporters of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro took part in an electoral drill before the May 20th presidential elections, in which the current president will be seeking re-election. The rehearsal was organised by the National Electoral Council and all eligible voters, some 20 million of them, were invited to take part in the drill, but the operative was exclusively promoted by the ruling party. The Indian Home Ministry has issued a warning for today, stating that thunderstorms accompanied by squall, hail and heavy rains are likely to occur in at least about 13 states and union territories across the country. The thunderstorms accompanied with squall and hail are very likely at isolated places over Jammu and Kashmir and Himachal Pradesh, while the thunderstorms accompanied with gusty winds are very likely at isolated places in Uttarakhand and Punjab. The bodies of 3 children, including 2 8-year-old girls who got drowned in the Gulf of Mannar in India's southern Rameshwaram city, were recovered. The victims were a part of a group of tourists who had in fact come from Seligui village of Sivagangai district, about 100 kilometers from the coastal pilgrim town, to take a holy bath at the Dhanushkodi beach in the Gulf of Mannar, a confluence of the Indian Ocean and the Bay of Bengal. In a move that is likely to blunt Pakistan's edge in the world Muslim body, Bangladesh has called for India's inclusion as an observer in the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. Saudi Arabia had previously proposed India's name for inclusion at the OIC in 2006, but there was no further follow-up. In 2017, the statements by Pakistan on behalf of OIC at the United Nations had accused India of conflict in Jammu and Kashmir. Alright, let's now get you some updates from India, where breaking is silence in the rise of incidents of right-wing groups preventing Muslims from offering namaz in open spaces. In Gurugram, Haryana Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar on Sunday said that such congregations should be restricted to mosques or eidgahs rather than public areas. The Chief Minister, however, acknowledged that it was the state's duty to maintain law and order and not the job of the vigilantes to try and go enforce rules. The Indian Navy's yacht INS Tarini, with an all-crew of 6 women officers, is ready to complete its circumnavigation expedition. The Indian Navy has tweeted pictures of the crew celebrating as they crossed the equator on Sunday. The crew is celebrating the moment, and the expedition will culminate at INS Mandaway in Goa, bringing to an end a 21,600 nautical mile journey that began on the 10th of September in 2017. In view of the indefinite strike and boycott of academic activities by students in India's Aligarh Muslim University, the university has announced that exams will be postponed. An official statement from the institute's public relations office has stated that exams, which were to be held from the 7th of May, have been postponed till the 12th of May. On the 2nd of May, remember, violence had broken out at the AMU campus over a Rav or Muhammad Ali Jinnah's portrait on the campus triggered a right-wing protest. This is a portrait that has hung at the AMU since 1938. As Bollywood actor Sonam Kapoor and Anand Ahuja get up for their wedding on the 8th of May, Bollywood stars Janhvi Kapoor and also Arjun Kapoor and Karan Johar are amongst several others who've gathered for the Mehndi ceremony on Sunday evening in Mumbai. The entire Kapoor clan was by Sonam's side, including Riya Kapoor, Janhvi Kapoor, Khushi Kapoor, Arjun Kapoor, Shanaya Kapoor and also friends in the fraternity, including Karan Johar, Kunal Rawal, Masaba Gupta and Abu Jani and many others. Sonam chose Abu Jani. Sandeep Khosla designed lehenga and was clicked flaunting henna on her hands. Now the couple are slated to tie the knot tomorrow.